Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Saturday Morning Coffee with Back to Basics Dog Training. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Leon. I'm the head trainer here over at Back to Basics Dog Training. And each and every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, I bring you this live free dog training Q&A session. So get your questions ready, pop them in the comments, let me know you're watching. If you're watching now live, shoot me a comment. Let me know you're here. Give me a shout out. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching later on the replay, give me a shout out, guys. Let me know you're watching. And again, even on the replays, you can ask the questions. I'll figure out an answer. If not, you know, we'll get you some answers. Good morning, John. How are you today? So today's subject I'm going to start with until I start seeing some questions popping up here. Um, I've noticed a lot of puppies recently around where I live, so I'm assuming that's pretty much all around. A lot of people getting puppies, which is great. Um, the thing I'm noticing though is, everybody looks at the puppy as this cute little fur ball. They're adorable. Really love them up and do everything right human wise. But the thing that I think we have a disconnect going is even though they're puppies and they're very young, they still need to start learning the rules day one when we get them into our homes. Because if you create the rules from day one, the rules that you expect your dog to live by in your home, as they grow and they get from puppies to toddlers to preteens to teenagers, the transition, the journey is so much easier if you start setting the rules right away. Puppy biting is normal. They bite, they nip people. That's how they play with each other. But the one thing is, if you ever had the privilege of watching other dogs, especially the mother dog, when they're all interacting and they're playing and they're biting each other, if that bite gets too hard, mama corrects them. Mama doesn't correct them to hurt them. Mama doesn't correct them to scare them. Mom corrects them to set a distinctive rule, saying, okay, you're allowed to bite, but you're only allowed to bite so hard. Now, the biggest problem I think I have personally is that these puppies are taken away from mom a little too early in their life cycle. So they're not learning some of the rules that mom would normally set. So then we have to take the role of mom. So if you're playing with your dog and your dog bites you too hard, I mean, there's many things. You go to Google, you look it up, they'll say, yell ow really loud, and the dog will learn. And sometimes they just look at that loud screeching ow as more play. Watch them when they interact with young children to get an idea of what I'm talking about. When they interact with an adult and they bite and the adult says no or ow or whatever, sometimes those puppies stop. But when the kids do it, because they get that high school, yeah, dad, they start screaming and freaking out. It actually builds up more excitement in the dog. Um, so you got to be cautious on how you teach your dog and what you teach your dog. John says, "Want to thank you, Lucas. Stop barking at the TV. All I have to do is put the leash on the couch, and he just sits there and watches TV." Beautiful, John. I'm so glad that helped you out. Uh, it's a very common thing. It's more and more common than I thought it was, actually, because I was kind of taken aback when I was watching some dogs and they were barking at everything, the animals on TV. So I'm glad it worked for you. And that's why we do this platform each and every week to help people like John, who doesn't live in my local area. And, we get the word out there. And if you guys can help your dogs with just me doing this live platform, that's great because eventually I'd love to take as they say, take the show on the road and go around the country and do some training. If I tell John, hey John, I'm coming to your area, hey, pump me up. I'm hoping John would pump me up because I've been able to help him without physically being there with him. And that's why I'm going to be trying to do more and more seminars. Some of these seminars, the ones I charge for, I'm not going to record, put out live, but some of the seminars that I do for free around here in my local area, I'm going to put them out there live, guys. So I'm going to be hopefully doing one very shortly for some rescue groups down here where I'm going to talk about how we can help the dogs transition. I'm going to post that live because I'm not charging for it. So even people around the country, around the world who are watching that live video will be able to ask questions during my seminar. So, this platform could be huge if people would just do what I ask them to do. Please just share this. Share it out there. Share my YouTube channel. Share my Facebook page with people. Let them know I do this platform, you know, each and every Saturday morning. And I may be changing my Saturday mornings because I know summertime is coming. People want to get out and about. I may do this during the week, one night after working hours. I don't know. I'm trying to get feedback from you guys. When would be a better time than Saturday at 11? Would there be, Thursday at 7 at night? You guys have to help me out a little bit. Uh, Wish you would come here. I moved from New York to Virginia Beach. You know, uh, John, I definitely will be planning on making some trips back up to New York. Uh, I did this one on my last trip. Well, thank you, John. On my last trip up north, on my way back, heading back here, I did some sessions in Baltimore, right outside Washington. So I guess it was Virginia area, 2 sessions in Virginia. I can always hit Virginia Beach. I can always do this. And, if it's something that's planned out in advance, we can actually do this for a community. Hey, I'm coming to town. I can be there for 2 or 3 days. Let's get everybody, if you're in an apartment complex, to meet in one area, and we'll do a dog training session, and we can work out details and all that. To get the word out, guys, I put this up here every week, and I'm going to put it up there right now. It's a little earlier than I normally do. Um, I mean what I say when I say together we can help one dog and one family at a time. I truly, truly believe that. And that's why I do this platform. It's a passion of mine. I did a business seminar and we talked about passion this week, and how your passion can drive you and how you create the passion, how the passion is always evolving. Catherine says, I can't get the harness and leash on my 1-year-old sweet small dog. I have 3 who can't train with her because she's not interested in treats. Um, you can't get the harness on the dog because um, she's just playing too much. Is she afraid of the harness? I'm not a big fan of harnesses. Anybody who's watched me knows I'm not a huge fan of harnesses. Um, I think they're actually counterproductive in a lot of cases. Excuse me. Uh, and harnesses are useful if you tell me the dog has a trachea problem. Of course, I don't want anything on the dog's neck. But if they don't have a trachea problem from a vet telling me they have a trachea problem, if you're having a problem, she's afraid. So what I would suggest doing is going out, getting something called a Martingale, not Martingale, I'm sorry, a Mendota slip leash. It's just a leash and a collar all in one. And what you can do is just basically you lasso her and let her get used to just being on a leash that way. It's easier than playing the games. You don't have to worry about being bit. You just slowly, you can even pet her with it first. Desensitize her to what, when dogs are afraid of something. Um, Michelle, I'll get to your question in a minute. Desensitize them to what scares them. So if they're afraid of the harness or the leash or whatever, pet them with it. Make it a good thing. Don't just necessarily take the leash out of the harness out and try to wrestle the dog to put it on, because you're actually creating more of the fear, because we're forcing them to do something that they're not comfortable with doing. So we got to try to change the narrative on it. So what you can do is pet them with it, lay it on them. Don't necessarily clip it on. Same thing with a leash or a collar or whatever. You just have to desensitize them to the things that scare them. Um, it's very, very important that we have to learn to do that. And I'll give you the best example. I had worked with a dog that was terrified to get in the car. Terrified. Just would not want to get in the car. And I found out the reason why is he showed the fear of getting into the car. So what did the owner do? They picked him up and forced the dog into the car instead of making the dog have a better representation of the car. So what I did is I actually warmed the dog in the back of the little SUV. I took an igloo cooler. I made a step. I had the dog come up, and I made the dog come up, and I made the dog do the process, not me do the process. And then eventually what happened is he enjoyed going into the car because he wasn't forced to do it. And it's the same thing when you're talking about harnesses, leashes, collars, or anything like that. We tend to force them because we need to take them for a walk, which we do. But if the dog is communicating to us, hey, I'm not comfortable with this, back it up and change the narrative. I would definitely suggest a slip leash, not a harness. You can get it on, and you can just sit there and not even go anywhere when you first do it. So the dog understands, hey, I got this thing on me. It doesn't mean I'm doing something. I'm just hanging out with my friends. Um, Yeah, same theory. John had the problem with his dog being terrified of cutting nails, and after 2 weeks, he let me cut it. He let him cut his nails just by petting them and desensitizing them to the what we're asking them to do. It's took John 2 weeks. I've seen him take 3, 4 weeks. I've seen him take 3 days. Um, you got to give it the chance, guys. It's patience, consistency is so crucial. So, Catherine, if you're on next week, let me know how it goes. Guys, I always ask. I want the feedback. Anybody who I help, let me know. John, I appreciate the feedback. My dog barks at people all the time when we walk her. I feel like he's afraid of everything and barks in his default. How do I stop him from barking when we're walking? Well, again, to me, Rochelle, it definitely starts at threshold management. If we go out of the homes calmly through that front door, through the back door, whatever we're walking the dog out calmly, and they're in a calmer state of mind, it makes it easier. And then what I need you to do is check your own energy. If you're walking your dog, um, if you're walking the dog and you're seeing the person or the dog or whatever before him and you're tensing up and you're saying, oh my God, he's going to react, oh my God, he is going to react. You're going to create this. So what you need to do is start your walk at a more calm energy from you, calmer energy from your dog, and you go out head up, chest high, and you're going with a purpose. And then when you see that person or the other dog that normally would trigger his reaction, excuse me, start looking at him. If he's just doing his normal, smelling things, going along my way, good. But as soon as you see the slightest change in that happy-go-lucky dog, boom, make the correction. No, sit. Breathe in the roses, blow out the candles, and just stay there. Let him go through the process. Let him see that, hey, this person can pass, this dog can. I don't need to be afraid. Mama's got me. I don't have to worry about it. She's going to protect me because she's directing me now what to do. And you just got to go through the process, and it takes time. But it starts with threshold management, getting the dog out the house calmly, in a calmer state of mind, so they're not jacked up already, is so much easier to correct it. And then don't wait for the explosion. People with the leash reactive dogs, stop waiting for the explosion. We wait for the explosion and then we go to correct them. Too late. You blew it. You missed your opportunity. It's too hard to correct a dog that's already in that zone. So that's why I say start looking at your dog. Watch for the slightest change. Try to correct them when they're at a very low level. Make your correction. Make a firm correction, not to hurt or scare your dog. No, there's no reason for you to be on lookout for that person that's a quarter mile away or 100 feet away or 1,000 feet away. Trust me, I got your back. So I hope that makes sense. Good morning, Michelle. I will get to your question in a second. Joanne, I have a 15-month, 75-pound rough collie. He is super sweet, loves everyone. He gets super excited when anyone comes in the door. Any suggestion to calm polite? Yes, absolutely. This goes back to threshold management, guys. Um, Good morning, Erica. Rochelle, let me know how it goes, of course. Um, Guys, this goes back to threshold management that I use on walks. So anybody who's new watching, please find my YouTube channel. Look for the logo above my head here or the one on my shirt here. Back to Basics Dog Training on YouTube. I have a playlist called How to Leash Train My Dog. Episode 2 is about threshold management. Threshold management is about the walk in that one, but it's also about controlling the excitement by the front door. Um, so getting back to the question is, how would I do this? I would very simply set your dog up for success. And what I mean by that is have a family member, somebody who maybe live in the house, maybe a neighbor or somebody who could act like a guest in your home. And they come to the door, they knock on the door, ring the doorbell. Your dog is going to go excited, crazy. Then you're going to not open the door right away. You're going to put the leash on the dog and you're going to make corrections saying, nope. And you're going to break this cycle of excitement because that's all it is. What happens is we've rewarded him for 15 months. Somebody knocks on the door, rings the door, comes in the door. He gets to greet the person, Monty, what's behind door number 1? And we're giving him the prize when the state of mind is here. So indirectly, you rewarded the excitement because you gave him what he wanted, which is what was behind the door. So what you need to do is learn to stop the cycle before you open the door. So you put your leash on your dog, you make your firm correct leash correction with a firm no, calmly. Give them another job to do. Sit. Tell them to sit someplace where you can open the door and you can invite your guests in. Now you don't open the door if he's obedient and he's sitting there going, okay, open the door, open the door, open the door, open the door. His mind is still escalated. You gotta wait till he calms down. So that person outside may stay out there for a while, but that's okay because we're helping the dog and that's what we want to do. Then when you think your dog is in a calmer state of mind, start the process of opening the door. Now the odds are when you go to reach for the doorknob, he's going to get up again and get excited because that's the normal routine. You stop the process there, regroup, settle him down again, get the mind to calm down to the point where you can open up the door comfortably. If you have a storm door, you probably end up having to repeat the process. And then the trick is once you can get past the door, opening the doors, and your dog is still calm and he's still sitting there and he's being good, don't forget to praise. The guests coming in, be it somebody who lives in your home, family member, neighbor, whatever, they have to act like they're a guest in your home. So the rule of thumb, and this is quoting Cesar Millan because he happens to say it the best, is no look, no touch, no talk. When they come into your home, they are not to address your dog. They're supposed to say hi to you, say hello to your family members. The last thing they should be interacting with is your dog, especially if your dog is not in the right state of mind. And I don't care if they don't mind the dog jumping on them. It's not up to them. It's up to you. It's what you want. And then what you do is you invite your guests in. They walk past. They ignore your dog. Great, great, great. They go to wherever the normal hangout area is, the kitchen, the den, the family room, living room, whatever room it is. And when your dog is in a calm state of mind on the leash, you bring your dog to your guests. And if he's in a calm state of mind, they can pet him and say hi. He can sniff them. They can do whatever he wants as long as that mind stays calm. Once he gets excited during that process, you make the correction. No, your guest stops interacting with the dog, not looking at the dog, totally ignoring the dog until the state of mind is calm, and then you repeat the process. After doing this enough times, again, I can't put timestamps on it. It works. They get the idea. Hey, I want to say hi to John, but I can't if I'm excited. Oh, so what we're doing is instead of rewarding the excitement by letting people in, we're rewarding the calm for him to get his affection that he wants. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments. So good morning, Michelle and Athena. I use a slip lead in the yard as she has to be on a leash jumping on the fence. She pulls so hard when she hears the dog next door and she chokes herself. Today I had to drag her in and she redirected at me and nipped me. We give her treats every time, but the dog bark does not work anymore. You got to use the e-collar. Definitely use your e-collar. Use that in combining with the leash, the tools that you use. So if you have to go up, remember I did this when I was there when she jumped on Rob's back. I turned it up and I corrected her that quickly. Remember, the higher their level goes, the harder this correction has to be. And the reason she redirected is you brought her into the home, but she still wanted to get at that dog. You have to work on the issue there. And it's real hard because she's physically such a strong freaking dog. So what you need to do, that's why, the e-collar should be your best friend. If you have to crank it up, boom. But you, Michelle, have to stay calm. You have to. I know it's frustrating. I know it's aggravating because she's doing the same thing time, and all that energy is stopping your process from moving her forward. So you use the e-collar. So the dog comes out. If her normal working level is, 10 and 20, you may have to crank it up a little bit. But remember, when you use the punishment level, you're touching the button that quick. It's as quick as a snap of the finger. It's not hitting the button and holding the button because we don't want to do that. That will scare the hell out of your dog, and we're not here to scare your dog. So utilize the e-collar more. That e-collar should be on every time she goes outside. And every time she reacts, she needs to get corrected. And like I said, if you can work it out with your neighbor, hey, listen, I'm taking Athena out at 11:30. Can you let your dog out at 11:40? Whatever. So now you're a little bit more prepared for it. You're ready to go. You hear the door opening. Athena hears the door. Boom. No. You correct it before the explosion with your leash, with the e-collar, and then you stay there until her state of mind changes. And then if you want to bring her in, you bring her in. Discipline, guys, in the dog world has to happen where the mistake happened, in the moment, not later on. If you try to bring them away from whatever they're doing, redirection is very, very common. It sucks, but it's very, very common that a dog will redirect because they're so frustrated. She wants to get at that dog next door. I got to get rid of this frustration. Deal with it right there. Deal with it right there. Be aware of the redirection so you can move quickly. But if you deal with it there, first of all, in your yard, it's a lot easier than dealing with it in a foyer with a big dog. Yeah, get back to the e-collar conditioning with her. We have been doing the back to basics walk and have her in front of the house. So that's a start. It will. Yeah, Michelle, great. Everything, guys, in my world starts with the walk. If you can master the walk with you in control of the whole process of the walk, be it you walk for 15 minutes or you walk for 3 hours, if you're in control of that whole entire walk, where you're allowing things to happen and not allowing things to happen, that's showing your dog you're in charge. And if you're in charge outside in the world where there's more stimulus and more chaos, it's easy to control crap in the yard and in the house because there's not as much stimulus. Um, but it starts with a walk, and I'm glad you're doing it because that's the beginning of it. And then you're going to find things should start working their way down. So I'll give you the best example. I worked with a customer down here recently who had two labs, and brothers from the same litter. So you can say pack syndrome or whatever you want, assembly syndrome, assembly rivalry, whatever, Cain and Abel. They would fight. They had no structure in their lives. They were young. They were, I think, about 2 years old with no structure in their lives. So they were getting so frustrated by not getting any structure, they would actually turn on each other. So I went there, realized they're not aggressive dogs, they're not fighting dogs, they're just frustrated dogs. And we started the process of mastering the walk back to basic style with them. And, the gentleman is so nice. He sends me videos weekly on the progress of these guys. And the beauty of it is, this was 3 weeks ago, I think I did this. Uh, what he told me in his last text to me was where they used to fight daily. Since I've been there last, I think they've had one disagreement. So that's how important mastering the walk is. It's about leadership. It's about structure. Dogs need the structure. COVID, the pandemic hurt that in a lot of dogs because we didn't give them structure. We were home, working from home. Our kids were learning from home. It was a lot of chaos. A lot of dogs that we had well trained reverted back because they were just going off the energy that was in the house at the time. And it's so, so important. Good morning, Erica, by the way. I forgot to say good morning. So it's real, real important that you can set the structure today. It doesn't matter. Start with the walk. The walk is the key, guys. I don't care if you have a big backyard. A couple of people have moved out of here in the complex that I live in, bought homes. And, when I was talking to them, I said, the biggest thing you guys don't make the mistake everybody makes is now we don't live in an apartment. We live in a house. We have a fenced in yard. We don't have to walk the dogs. Still walk your dogs. It's so, so important. I don't think people put enough onus on it, but it is super, super important. So, guys, let me know if this stuff makes sense, what I'm saying. Michelle, just keep going at it. Don't be afraid to use that e-collar to help you. Remember, the tools are designed to help you. You're not going to hurt her. You're not going to make her worse than she is because you're going to do it with the right energy. So when you hit the button and you say no, it's the same energy as if you pop the leash. No, but you have to be calm. And guys, remember, this is even for the leash reactive people. The calmer you stay in those situations, let me put that down here, the calmer the dog stays because they're going to read your energy. That's our communication. Guys, I put it up here all the time and I'll put it up here again. Our words are great, but energy is definitely the most important part of how we communicate to our dogs. So the calmer you stay, especially when they're here, the quicker you get them to meet up with you. If you jack up with them, you have to be the alpha. Yeah, you do. And the alpha has a bad connotation. I don't know if that's the right word. Alpha, especially for the men, think it's control. Again, we're not physically going to control every dog. We're going to mentally control another dog. I wish I can get people to stop with the speaking so much and you tune into their internal energy. It works. That's why when I work with people's dogs, they don't usually react as bad as they do for their mom and dad because they read my energy and they just know it's a no nonsense approach. My male dog is 2 years old. He has been PP pad trained for a while now, but there are times when he misses the pad because he would position his front feet on the edge of the PP pad. How do I help him not miss the pad? That's a hard question. It is. There's no way I can come up with a solution for that. I'm not a huge fan of wee wee pad training. Um, and I've said it on this platform before. All the puppies I've raised, I've never used wee wee pads or newspapers. There were set routines on when they were out of the crate, when they were going to the bathroom. So I established a routine. Um, so wee wee pad training is not my expertise, but again, if they're walking off the edge, maybe you need to a little bigger of an area. It's hard because most of the time you don't see it happening. Um, if they're food motivated at all, but unfortunately, then they'll end up just going for the food. You know, if you're seeing them and seeing him and he's not going to the place, if you have a treat or something, use his nose, let him follow the treat. When he pees in the middle, give him a reward right then and there on the pee pee pad. And if he misses, don't yell at him. Don't say anything. He gets his reward when he pees in the middle. He doesn't get the reward when he pees off the edge. I'm not sure if that's going to work. I'll be honest with you. That's, again, not my area of expertise. But by next week, I'll try to do some research to see if I can come up with a solution for you on that. I just don't want to give you misinformation. The treat may work if you're there and you see them. See them. If you're not there, it's hard to correct it. But again, I'm not big on the wee wee pads. I've never trained my own dogs on them, so it's something I'll have to do some research for you. That's about as transparent as I can be, guys. If I don't know, I don't know. But I'll try to do some research this week on it and maybe have an answer for you next week. So tune in next week. So again, the calmer you stay with your energy when they have these unwanted behaviors, be it leash reactivity, be it the excitement of somebody coming into the home, whatever it is, if they're here, you need to be here because your energy, guys, control so much. You don't realize how powerful your energy is, and it works. I'm going to tell you, when I'm there, I'm going to say 95 to 98% of the time, it works. My energy is what controls the dogs. Why they don't misbehave when I'm there, why they don't have the unwanted behaviors when I'm there. They read my energy, and it comes all down to my favorite trademark saying: no anger, no frustration, no nonsense. I don't get angry when a dog misbehaves or has an unwanted behavior. I don't get frustrated if I have to do the same thing with that dog 100 times. But my no nonsense approach, no mean excuse me, no means no. Why? Because I said so. I don't need to explain to him why it's not good to react to every freaking thing on the leash. I don't need to explain to him why they shouldn't jump on my guests when they come in my house. I don't need to explain all these things. All I need to do is say no, change the state of mind, and praise the correct state of mind. So we turn those no's into yeses. And yeses are so much more fun. I don't know about you guys. I enjoy saying yes more than I like saying no. Um, so, but it comes from your energy. If I try to say no when I'm angry and I'm frustrated, it's not gonna fix the problem. It's not gonna change the issue. It's just gonna either one, scare the hell out of the dog, or make the dog think, "Hey, I got your number. You don't know how to freaking talk to me." And so the best way, I tell people all the time, try to think like another dog. If another dog is misbehaving, jumping on a younger dog is jumping on an older dog, the older dog's not going to sit there and say, well, young man, you shouldn't be jumping on me. I'm older than you. You should respect me. No, the older dog's going to growl or snip at the dog and make a no-nonsense correction to say, hey, that's an unacceptable behavior. And when they do the growl, they do the nip. It's not designed to hurt or scare the dog. It's not. And they don't go to sit there and physically hold the dog into a position. If it becomes a point, they will hold the dog down by but that you don't see that as often as TV makes it sound like. Um, Other times, yeah, there are times when you may have to do that. Far and few between. It's not as much as you see. I'm telling you now, TV sensationalizes crap, but your energy can fix it. Mastering the walk, guys. I say this week in, week out. Find my YouTube channel if you haven't. I know, John, you're on it. Get on there, subscribe to it, watch that playlist on how to leash train your dog. It's so important. You'd be amazed how that can change so many unwanted behaviors. And then if you find that valuable, share that playlist with your friends, your relatives, and people around the country, around the world. I don't care. That's why it's there. Just tell them I need subscribers. Get the word out there. I would, like I said in the beginning, I'd love to take this show on the road, and I would do Mastering the Walk seminars in all 50 states if I could, because I think that's the biggest disconnect we have today. Lives are crazy. We make excuses. We don't have time for a walk. It's too much effort. The dog doesn't walk very well. I have a big backyard. I play ball with the dog. I do this with the dog. I do that, but you're not doing anything to mentally challenge the dog or show the dog that you are in charge. You can use the term alpha dog. I don't care. As long as you know alpha dog isn't about this. Alpha dog is about this and your energy. Morning. It's okay. You can always watch the beginning on replay later. Good morning, Susan. How's my Hope girl doing? So, and I'm glad you joined, because I'm talking about energy right now, and you know as well as anybody else how important your energy was in helping Hope succeed and help Hope on this journey that we've taken her on. The if you can control your own energy and you can stay calm when you're dealing with your dog, think about how this could snowball, guys, where you're dealing with somebody at work or you're dealing with a family member and you stay calm. Look how quickly that can de-escalate some situations. So it's not only about the dog training. It's really so much more about how we can do better in everyday lives. Yeah, so the way I use my so-called alphas is by making eye contact with her. She checks my eyes to make sure that she's doing what she's supposed to be doing, and then I give her permission or tell her no. And you told me that, by the way. Yeah. Eye contact. The YouTube channel is Back to Basics Dog Training, Amy. I will put a link on after these things upload on Facebook and on YouTube. I don't have to put the link to my YouTube channel. Later on today, I'll put links in the comments to my YouTube channel. Subscribe, find the playlist. It'll definitely help you out. You guys can always reach out to me personally here, because I know I'm on Remember Me Rescues Facebook page, as well as my own Back to Basics here. If you reach out to me either via email at info@backtobasicsdogtraining.com or my phone number 631-514-9128. Shoot me a text. I can text you the links to those as well, or email you the links, or just go to my website, backtobasicsdogtraining.com. Scroll to the bottom. I'll give you the links to all my social media platforms. The only two I really focus on is YouTube and Facebook. I don't do much on Twitter and Instagram. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube, people. It was a lifesaver for me, even though I personally had Leon here 4 times with Hope. Yeah, guys, I'll be putting out more and more videos. Like I said, I'm trying to get the right camera equipment, because I don't like some of the way the video and the sound qualities come out on some of my videos. But we're going to be talking about anything And I've asked this before, so you guys can actually put it in the comments. If there's a subject you'd want me to talk about on a video, put it in the comments. Because it's great what I want to talk about, but it's more important what you need me to talk about. So, with that being said, guys, another great week here of Saturday Morning Coffee with Back to Basics Dog Trade. I hope I gave you guys some value. Again, let me know in the comments. Follow up with me. Let me know how my tips and techniques have helped or not helped. And we'll be out here again next Saturday at 11 o'clock. Again, I'm looking to possibly change away from Saturdays at 11 o'clock because a lot of the outdoor events around here happen between 11 and 1 and 2. And I really want to get myself out into the public down here a little bit more. So I may be changing this up a little bit, but I will let everybody know in advance. I will always post it out there. But with that being said, guys, as always, thank you for inviting me into your home each and every Saturday morning. It's truly an honor and a pleasure to be here. I appreciate all your positive feedback that I get from this. We're going to keep chugging away. Let's get the word out there, guys. Have people join us. I'd like to see that number in the upper corner hit triple, quadruple digits of viewers watching us. I think it would be a lot of fun. I think we get a lot of great questions that way that can help other people. But as always, guys, again, thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, stay healthy, stay safe. God bless. And remember, together we can help one dog and one family at a time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys.